Hello, disciples. Welcome back to Stats Cosmos. Hope you all are doing good. I'm back with a new video on organization theory and behavior. In the previous video, we have known about evolution of scientific management. Frederick Taylor is the father of scientific management. He is an industrial engineer introduced the idea of scientific management. He advocated an inductive, empirical, and detailed study of each job to determine the one best way to organize work. This approach has given greater importance to technology than to the men at work. The approach sees workers as mere economic tools, as mechanical parts of production process, not as human beings with needs. However, by 1920, the image of workers has changed considerably. The new idea held that all workers were complex unique beings whose individual skills and abilities could be measured, tested, and trained. In this video, we are going to know about human relations approach by Elton Mayo and his team. Hawthrone experiments, phases of Hawthrone experiments, and about the conclusions of Hawthorne experiment, human relations, characteristics of human relations and concepts in human relations, requirement of human relations program, and its conclusions we are going to know in this video. First, let us start with Hawthorne experiments. In classical management theory, physical sources like capital, natural resources, foreign aid play an important role in economic growth. But none of these factors is more important than an efficient pool of well educated, well trained, and highly developed personnel, through whose creative efforts the goals of an organization may be achieved. In this fact lies the importance of human resources. It was during 1920s that human relations brought to the attention of the management the important role played by individuals in determining the success or failure of an organization. Human relations theory that was developed through the researches of Elton Mayo, Carl Rogers, Carl Levin, Daniel Bell, and Severett Mills concentrated on the social environment surrounding the job. The general progression of research at Hawthorne can be grouped into four phases, as shown here on the screen. Phase 1, Illumination Experiments. Phase 2, Relay Assembly Test Room Experiment. Phase 3, Interviewing Program. Phase 4, Bank Wiring Observation Room Experiment. Now let us try to know about these phases in depth. Illumination experiments. These experiments involved prolonged observation of two groups of employees making telephone relays. One group of employees, called experimental group or test group, worked under varying degrees of light, and another group called control group worked under normal illumination conditions. The productivity of the test group increased each time the intensity of light increased, even when the level of illumination in the work area was reduced to that of an ordinary moonlight night. Productivity here increased. The researchers concluded that in addition to technical and physical changes, some other variables should also be probed. Next, we have relay assembly test room experiment. Mayo and his team started their experiments with a group of women who assembled telephone relays. Over a 2-year period, many changes were made in the working conditions of the women. And those changes are as follows: 2 5-minute, then 2 10-minute, then 6 5-minute rest intervals were tested. The company served hot lunches during the rest periods. The workday and work week were shortened. The task was simplified. The group was allowed to choose its own rest period and have a say in other suggested changes. These changes lasted for several weeks and the output increased. As a result of special attention and treatment given by the experimenters, the women felt that they were an important part of the company. The employees felt that it was easier to work faster because work in the test room was fun and there was little supervisory control. At this stage, the researchers were interested in finding out clear answers to the question: why had the attitudes of the employees become better after participating in the test room? Next, we have interviewing program. The Harvard team extended their research and initiated a 3-year long interviewing program in 1928. They covered more than 20,000 employees from every department in the company. Interviews were designed to help the researchers find out what the workers thought about their jobs, their working conditions, their supervisors, their company, and anything that bothered them, and how those feelings might be related to their productivity. When researchers began examining the complaints made by the employees, they found most of them to be baseless. Mere taking made the difference, and for the first time, the importance of informal groups was recognized. To find more about how the informal groups operated, the bank wiring room experiment was set up for this reason. In this experiment, 14 male workers were formed into a small group and intensively observed for 7 months in the bank wiring room. The members have set certain norms for the group and confined the work to these norms. Norms like total output should not exceed the set standard because management will revise and fix a higher standard saying that it is easy to achieve. Few members giving higher output will result in retrenchment of low performing members. If output is significantly increased, the unit incentive rate would be cut. So the group established its idea of a fair output, neither too much nor too little. The group members were paid regular pay on the basis of efficiency plus a bonus based on average group effort. Thus, an individual pay was affected by the output of the entire group and by his own individual output. This proved the importance of social factors in influencing productivity. Now let us see conclusions of Hawthorne experiments. First one, normal interaction of workers at work create a social network called the informal organization, which exerts the tremendous influence over workers' behavior pattern. Second, we have the informal organization frequently countermanded official orders passed on through the formal organization and consequently played a determining role in setting production rates. The workers are not to be viewed as mere economic tools or as isolated units in the production process, but they had to be seen as complex human beings whose normal interactions were bound to affect total production output. Mayo convinced that human relations approach had greater scope in business. There is a criticism of this experiments. Hawthorne studies are criticized on the ground that the studies emphasized only on the social network created at the workplace. They assume acceptance of management's goal by the worker and look on him as someone to be stimulated by the management. Now let us see what is human relation. Human relation is motivating people in organization in order to develop teamwork which effectively fulfills their needs and achieves organizational goals. This is very important role in business. Next we see what are the characteristics of human relations. It strives to create a positive work environment in which people can simultaneously fulfill their own needs as well as those of organization. The focus will be always on people. When people management stimulates more and better work, we have sound human relations in the organization. And we also have it is essentially concerned with motivating people to peak performance. So now let us see what are the concepts involved in human relations regarding nature of people, regarding nature of organization. First, we have nature of people. There are four basic assumptions. First one, individual differences. Each individual needs satisfaction of his desires in a particular way, right? Only a person can take responsibility and make decisions. A group is ineffective unless the individuals act therein. Next, as a whole person, organizations employ not only skill or brain of an individual, but a person as a whole, because neither the skill nor the brain can be separated from him, right? The main purpose of the management is to develop a better person in terms of growth and fulfillment. Next, caused behavior. Human behavior has some cause. The management should know why an individual is and is not willing to work. People are not motivated by what we think they ought to have, but by what they themselves want. Next, we have the value of the person. This concept confirms that people are to be treated differently from other factors of production because they are of higher order in the universe. They are to be treated with respect and dignity. Now, let us see regarding nature of organization. What are the assumptions involved in human relations? Social systems, formal and informal social systems. Since organizations are social systems, social and psychological laws govern them. Their group as well as individual drives influence social roles and status of the people and their behavior. Next, we have mutual interest. It enables people to act cooperatively in meeting the organizational problems. What are the requirements of human relations program? This is to know what employees consider to be important in their work, their needs and wants. They have to be a good listener, develop effective vertical communication lines from employees to management and from management to employees also, of course, and also horizontally among the workers. They should develop wage incentive plans, should set up procedures to handle on the job grievances and to provide the leadership. Human relations stress the importance of getting a job done in an organization. Management cannot order a change or improvement in human relations. It may buy a person's time or his physical presence, but it cannot buy enthusiasm, initiative, devotion of hearts, minds, and souls. These things are earned through constant practice of good human relations. A successful management is that which realizes that the people working in an organization are a valuable asset which needs to be developed and utilized in the best interest of all. Finally, employees work better not by compulsion but by cooperation, not by fear but by reward. This is all about today's video. Hope you all enjoyed this video. We'll be continuing with the next video. Thank you so much all for watching this video.